Boom shakalaka, historically low volatility and UTXO spikes mean this for Bitcoin. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, a lot of very interesting charts for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, including how a historic low volatility and UTXO spikes could have a very significant impact on Bitcoin's price. Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, come join us on Twitter at the Crypto Love, push that like button. Now today, Fear and Greed at 53, up from yesterday's 50, similarly 50 last week. The overall market down 1.5% today. Bitcoin at 28,918, Ethereum at 1832, BNB at 245, XRP 69 cents, Dogecoin 7 cents, Cardano 30 cents, Solana $23, and Tron 7 cents. And if you wanted the top coins today based on AI, they would be Compound, IoTeX, Ren, Hedera, and Injective. And you can check out token metrics for yourself. There's a free trial down in the description. Now, Bitcoin breaking below this yellow line, the 50-day moving average, falling down to this 6+ month long, actually since when was this? The end of December. So over 8 month long, or about 8 month long, trend line that Bitcoin has been following, finding support there temporarily. Now, should be worth noting, the last time we had a golden cross of this 50 and 100-day moving average was back here in January. What did Bitcoin price do? It broke through the 50-day, broke through the 100-day, and actually touched the 200-day, this orange line, 200-day moving average. Now, at that time, the 200-day was also at the same level as this multi-month long support. So, will we find support here? Will we find support at the 100-day? Around 28.5, or could it potentially break down to where the 200-day is meeting this spike in volume profile, roughly around $27,000? Only time will tell. But Bitcoin right now testing a 12-year long trend line. It's held up. It was established in 2011. It's held up throughout all of Bitcoin's history, and this could potentially be the very bottom trend line that Bitcoin's holding up, meaning that probably don't have too much down territory. Right now, the pattern of Bitcoin retracements show that the percentage of the retracements decreases. This is 93%, 86%, 84%, 77%. But this suggests the bottom is already in, and as we break this trend line right here, well, we could be headed towards the next bull market for Bitcoin. And not only for Bitcoin, because if we take a look here, we have Bitcoin breaking through this trend line right here. The last 3 times it did it, this spelled out every significant bull run for Bitcoin. We did just have a monthly close above the SMA 20 line for the first time in 4 years, pretty much suggesting this is the beginning of something huge for Bitcoin and also for altcoins. If we take a look, in 2014, it took about 800 days from the last peak for the altcoin bull market to start, right down here. In 2018, it took about 800 days for the same thing to start. Well, guess what? 800 days from the peak would be roughly August. We have a breakout of this downtrend in altcoins, so we might have an altcoin moon coming as well. It turns out that it does just appear like this is all just global liquidity cycles, central bank balance sheets up and to the right. Bitcoin follows simultaneously. As central banks' balance sheets go up, so does Bitcoin price. Also, we have MACD flags at those moments as well. So, knowing that Bitcoin is correlated with money, how does it correlate with DXY? Turns out it's inversely correlated. We have a Bitcoin peak followed by a DXY bottom. Bitcoin peak, DXY bottom. Well, we know we had a DXY peak a few months ago, likely headed towards a DXY bottom, which should correlate very nicely with the next Bitcoin peak. But right now, markets are moving sideways. Very clear to see every day sideways. This is pretty much the lowest volatility, historic volatility Bitcoin has ever had. It's at its vital volatility support. It really doesn't get lower than this. Now, the previous times that it was at this level are all these boxes down here. 4 out of 5 of them, there was a rally. From $1,000 to $20,000, from $4,000 to $14,000, from $9,000 to $69,000, from $16,000 to $30,000. One time the price dropped. That was, when was that? That was the November 2018. But every other time was a massive rally. So more likely than not, we would have another massive rally off of this one, especially when we take a look at the unspent transactions output, the UTXO spikes here. So the Bitcoin price is sitting just below yearly highs, and yet losses just crossed its second highest point ever only losing to the 2020 Black Swan. Wow. Now the high transaction loss comes at 2 points. One cycle bottoms, which we see right here and right here and right here and right here, and also sideways periods before bull runs. So pretty much these only occur before we have massive bull runs and also at cycle bottoms. So right now this would suggest we're either at a cycle bottom right now, which likely we're not because that happened a few months back, or we're at the period right before a massive bull run. Now, where could price be headed once we find the support we were talking about in the beginning of the video? First things first, $35,000 resistance is the first level that was support back here on the monthly candles for Bitcoin. That would be the first level of significant resistance for Bitcoin. But once it breaks that, guess what? 52,000 is almost inevitable. And also on this chart, it says 59,000 right there. But that range, $52,000 to $59,000, Bitcoin is on the other side of the SSA, the Senkou Span A, heading for its previous all-time high of 52. Like in previous cycles, it was headed to the SSA all-time highs at 12 and 7. So basically, the SSA, this green line, peaks, and then once Bitcoin price crosses over there, it hits that green line pretty quickly after there. You can see every time it breaks through there, hits it pretty soon afterwards. Right now, that line at $52,000. And you might want to sit down for this because 13 years ago today, Bitcoin had just begun trading on the Mt. Gox exchange for about 7.5 cents. 13 years from today, Bitcoin will likely be trading for about $7.5 million. That's not just hopium, that's the mathematics of exponential growth, S-curve adoption, and network effects. Coincidentally, $7.5 million per Bitcoin is 7.5 cents per Satoshi. Each Satoshi, the same price it initially listed for on Mt. Gox. If we take a look, Bitcoin lining up very nicely with Metcalfe's Law in 13 years, $7.5 million per Bitcoin. That's really not too long to wait. So that's all for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, push the like button. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.